Hi, my name is Christina Cameli. I'm the author of the Wedge Quilt Workshop, and I'm here to show you a sort of essential skill for working with wedges that I think you'll love. So I've used this technique in the quilt behind me, and I've used it here. This is the set in circle. So when you have pieced a bunch of wedges together, you'll get something like this. So this has an open area in the middle, and we're going to need to finish that somehow. And you can applique something to it if you want, and that's fine too. But what I want to show you today is how to piece it. I'll flip this over, and you can see that on the back I've got basically a 1/4 inch seam, and everything's sewn in, and it's nice and flat. So here's the specialty tools that you'll need to complete this technique are, you'll need some freezer paper. So freezer paper is available in the grocery store, somewhere around where the foil is. Shiny on one side, paper on the other. You'll also need some fabric glue, and you'll need a zipper foot for your machine. So when I start this technique, in my book I have the template already figured out, the right size that you would need to finish these open circles. So you can cut that out and then trace around it onto the paper side of the freezer paper. And then once you've done that, traced on the circle, you'll go inside the circle and cut it out from inside. You want the whole outside of the circle to be intact so that you can use it to be your guide for pressing. So that is going to help us with the next step. Here I've got the wrong side of my pieced wedge round, and I'm going to use the freezer paper shiny side down right over that hole. And I'll do my best to center it. There may be some areas that are a little narrower and some that are a little wider. That's fine. And I'll just press that down with my iron, and that will make it adhere to the wedge round. And you can actually reuse these several times. So after we're done and you pull it off, then you can save it and use it for the next wedge round if you're doing something that has multiple to finish. So here it is, all pressed on. Now why do we want it there? Because it's going to help us get a nice crisp edge that we're going to use later to sew along. So you'll use your iron to press your seam allowance back over the edge of that freezer paper template that you made. And do your best to not burn your fingers. And you'll see how nicely it's laying down around the edges. But once you get that pressed back all the way, then you can use your fabric glue right along the edge here. And then get your centerpiece of fabric and lay it down right over the middle and just press it out so that it sticks onto that seam allowance. Give it a little time to dry, or you can press it with a dry iron right over that wet glue, and that'll help dry it up fast enough. Once it's all dry, then it's safe to take off the paper. And then what you'll have is this. And I don't have a sewing machine to show this to you, but I'm going to show you how you will do it. You'll make sure you have your zipper foot on the machine, and then you use the inner circle side down. And now can you see this nice crease that is left here from where we ironed back, where we pressed back the seam allowance? I'm going to put my needle in right there, and I'm just going to slowly stitch all the way around the circle. And as I go, I'm just going to be moving this fabric out of the way and turning it, keeping this out of the way so I don't catch it, and go around the entire circle just like that, sewing on that crease. And then what you get is a nice piece set in circle. I hope this helps you make lots of fun wedge quilts, and there's plenty of great patterns in this book right here.